Comfort and prosperity have never enriched the world as much as adversity has. Tears shed for self are tears of weakness, but tears shed for others are a sign of strength. Each life is made up of mistakes and learning, waiting and growing, practicing patience and being persistent. I've read the last page of the Bible. It's all going to turn out all right. A child who is allowed to be disrespectful to his parents will not have true respect for anyone. There is nothing wrong with men possessing riches. The wrong comes when riches possess men. Prayer is simply a two-way conversation between you and God. My home is in heaven. I'm just traveling through this world. God's angels often protect his servants from potential enemies. God's mercy and grace give me hope for myself and for our world. I believe the home and marriage is the foundation of our society and must be protected. There are two great forces, God's force of good and the devil's force of evil. And I believe Satan is alive and he is working. And he is working harder than ever. And we have many mysteries that we don't understand. No matter how prepared you think you are for the death of a loved one, it still comes as a shock and it still hurts very deeply. I'm thankful for the incredible advances in medicine that have taken place during my lifetime. I almost certainly wouldn't still be here if it weren't for them. Once you have lost your privacy, you realize you have lost an extremely valuable thing. As I got older, I guess I became more mellow and more forgiving and more loving. I look forward to death with great anticipation, to meeting God face to face. We are all sinners. Everybody you meet all over the world is a sinner. God has given us two hands, one to receive with and the other to give with. We are not cisterns made for hoarding. We are channels made for sharing. The influence of a mother upon the lives of her children cannot be measured. They know and absorb her example and attitudes when it comes to questions of honesty, temperance, kindness, and industry. Suffering should not make us bitter people. My mother once said, it should make us better comforters. Young people need to hear this from those who have walked before them, because someday they will be walking those same steps, but there may not be anyone following behind. Growing old has been the greatest surprise of my life. I don't have to see a murder in order to condemn murder. There have been times that I have wept as I have gone from city to city, and I've seen how far people have wandered from God. The great question of our time is, will we be motivated by materialistic philosophy or by spiritual power? I have discovered that just because we grow weaker physically as we age, it doesn't mean that we must grow weaker spiritually. Each generation faces different issues and challenges, but our standard must always be measured by God's word. For those of you who do not know Him, choosing your eternal home is the most important decision you will ever make. The greatest legacy one can pass on to one's children and grandchildren is not money or other material things accumulated in one's life, but rather a legacy of character and faith. No one can outrun death. It will catch up to all of us eventually. What really matters is how God sees me. He isn't concerned with labels. He is concerned about the state of man's soul. I believe that the greatest form of prayer is praise to God. God will prepare everything for our perfect happiness in heaven. And if it takes my God being there, I believe He'll be there. The moment we take our last breath on earth, we take our first in heaven. The will of God will not take us where the grace of God cannot sustain us. God never takes away something from your life without replacing it with something better. Take one day at a time. Today, after all, is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. When we come to the end of ourselves, we come to the beginning of God. Believers, look up, take courage. The angels are nearer than you think.